Masonic Light podcast listeners, this is past Master Moyer calling in. I haven't called in for a while, but I found out Merris is still screwing things up, so I got to get in there and get it corrected.
From the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons. It is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
Welcome to the Masonic Light Podcast.
We should get a bluegrass version of that bumper music.
Oh, yeah,
I think
that would be great.
That would be.
I wish we had a picture of that lady that recorded.
No, you don't want to know.
They get you too worked up, Larry.
You don't want to know. The fantasy
Welcome to the
is
Masonic
better.
Light Podcast. This is episode number 181.
Wow.
Did we say that right?
100, that's correct. Okay. 181.
181.
In the year 2024.
Correct.
You know, it's crazy because you blink and it'll be 182.
That's right. If you couldn't tell, our special guest tonight is Past Master Jeff Moyer, also Commander-in-Chief of the Valley of Reading, and we'll get back to him in a little bit. But tonight's episode is brought to you by our sponsors, George J. Grove and Son. Let's see, Hiram Solomon Cigars, Helm Construction.
Correct.
Intermezzo by Stephanie.
Also correct.
Yes. We need chocolate. Two Pillars Apparel. And our fantastic Patreon supporters. You too can be a Patreon supporter for as little as $1.
Well, no, not really.
Yes.
Just $1?
Just $1.
It's actually like $1.06 after tax.
That's right.
That's true.
You pay
Full
the
disclosure.
fee. Yeah, it's like $1.06. Go to patreon.com/Masonic
But we
Light
love you.
Podcast. We want to welcome our newest Patreon supporter. We alluded to this last time. Stephen Thurston at the $13 Master Mason level.
What's his name again?
Stephen Thurston.
So does he?
I hope his wife doesn't hear this.
Yeah.
Well,
Did they get off that island?
they did.
Good.
Nice.
This is their son.
This is
Good.
Lovey. This is the son. Yeah, it's Lovey.
All right, you can email us anytime at masoniclightpodcast@gmail.com, on X and Threads at Masonic Light, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Don't go to our website because they'll ask you to place a bet.
Well, it got hijacked, so
It got hijacked.
we're working on it.
We're working on that. So I'm Tim, and in studio tonight we have Jack, Josh, Larry, and Jake. And our special guest tonight, as we alluded to, the illustrious Brother Jeffrey S. Moyer, 33rd degree, Commander-in-Chief of the Valley of Reading, and Past Master of Lodge 43 in Lancaster.
Great to be here, folks.
I thought it was the illustrated Jeff Moyer.
All that.
That too.
I had that wrong.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Messed that up. Yeah, it's been a long time since Brother Moyer's been here. I think we had that phone call, and we had to get some things cleaned up, Larry. So we brought him back.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah, this is my third visit, Larry. You hated my first visit.
So,
Yeah, we were talking
I think
about
that was episode 7.
So
Yeah.
for those of you
Episode
that
7,
have not
thank you.
heard Past Master Moyer before, you have to go back and listen to the early episodes when Brother Jeff would frequently call in with his critique. And so we're glad to have you back. Before we get to our special guest, let's talk about what we've been doing since we last recorded. And since it's August, I'm guessing that'll be a short segment. Larry, anything?
Other than recorded the D. Malay Keyman Conference, that's it.
Yeah, you slept
much.
through Goose and Gridiron.
Jealous.
Goose and Gridiron. Yeah, I did. I didn't make it. Yeah.
He almost didn't even know what you meant to.
I know it. Exactly.
Slept through Goose and Gridiron. Yeah, I did. You're right.
Jack, anything going on?
Just my usual Monday night light with the guys from the lodge.
Excellent.
Get together and learn stuff.
Excellent. Jake?
My Florida adventure was delayed because my daughter brought something home from preschool, and I was laid up with a 104-degree fever.
They figure out what it was. They have to do a culture and all that good stuff.
Welcome to the Petri dish.
Yeah, right. One goes as all go.
I
so
hear
there
you.
you go.
All right, Josh, how about you? Anything?
Just working on the episode and
You did an excellent job on that.
Oh, thank you.
You did an excellent job.
I don't think our
thought the whole
listeners-
crew. Hang on a minute. I think all of y'all did a great job at Keyman, and the kids, the young men, did a great job at Keyman. If you didn't listen to that episode, go back and listen to it.
Episode 180.
The guys, I couldn't be there for work thing, but they sat up at the Patton campus in Elizabethtown during the Timo Lake Keyman project, and they recorded a show, and the kids loved it, and you guys loved it, and it was a great show.
We've already got next year's Keyman on our calendars, including Jack,
Ta-da!
who's never been to a Keyman conference.
I know.
with
I'm
us.
the only one that's a DeMolay, so whatever. I wasn't an actual DeMolay. I was a dad. So
I want to just call out, though, here for our listener base. I don't think people understand how much effort Josh put in to getting all the audio right from that, from
Yes.
4 disparate sources.
fantastic.
Just a fantastic job, dude.
See, and
Well
most
done.
people don't understand that, but you were there for the show, right? And
yeah.
it came out like great.
It was it came out way better than we had any right to hope for, and
Yeah.
just it was a great experience.
Not
I can't
because of
wait
the
to go
guys,
back.
because the kids did a great job. The young men did a great job. It's us.
We're just a liability to the show.
We're just a liability. That's right. All right. Since our last episode, just a couple of secretary trainings and emailed my September summons yesterday. So we're back at it, and we'll be getting back into the swing of things here. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with our guest.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. From planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com. And we're back with illustrious Jeff Moyer, who became a friend of mine, unfortunately for me, unfortunately for him.
That works both ways.
And it's good to have him back on the show. He's, like you said, we were talking earlier about it, and I'll let you talk in a minute, but I got to get this out of here. You did show number 7.
Yes.
And on the way over here tonight, Tim and I were talking about that show. I was on a ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I listened to the show after it was recorded, and I said, this is the worst damn show we've ever done. And I went back and listened to it 2 or 3 times. It wasn't the guest who was bad.
You got that
It was
right.
Pete. It was a couple other people
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
It was awful. And I made a phone call to Pete and said, what the heck? Not that language. What did you do? That's the way. No one's going to listen to us anymore. Well, here we are, years later, and you're on the show, and it's good to have you back. But anyway, tell us a little bit what you have been up to lately.
Up to lately? Oh, my gosh. Valley of Reading
Define the
stuff?
last year and a half, yeah.
Well, July we had our workers' picnic, which is anybody who participates in the reunions, it's a reward for them. We had a Valley picnic at the Rajah Complex. That's always the 4th Sunday and Sunday. And, Pennsylvania COD was the 2nd Saturday, Harrisburg. And the Valley of Reading received 3 awards at that session.
Yeah, I read that.
How many were you there to actually pick up?
Yeah, tell us about that.
So they
The Valley of Harrisburg has launched a shot across the bow.
The big valley comes back.
They,
big.
they announced our 2 MSAs.
Yeah.
And one of them was there.
Yeah.
So I went out into the lobby by the entrance door to call the other guy. I'm on the phone with him, and one of our members comes out and says, "Hey, you got to get back in there. They're going to give you an award." And I said, "What effing award?" "I don't know. They're going to give you an award." So until I got back to the auditorium, our secretary, Herb Swisher, had gone up and accepted him. So, yeah, and all the guys from Reading were in. Do you call it the dining hall?
Yeah, the ballroom.
Counting the donation money.
Yeah.
So nobody got to witness these awards. So did we actually receive
including
them?
you.
You have to go back and listen to the tape.
But that's not only the only thing.
So, Jeff,
you
what-
were also were you commander in chief when they had the fire?
No.
No, you weren't. You
No.
were next in line. Okay, but you were still commander in chief when they were reconstructing the building.
Yes.
Tell us about that. That was fun, wasn't it?
Oh man, that
Especially the Italian marble.
Have you been there recently?
Not since Peace Funeral, actually. No, I haven't been.
A year ago, August, the Cathedral Association had a meeting, and I attended that meeting. And then they said, let's go up to the lobby and take a look at it. And they had 6 carpet samples, and they had them laid out on the floor. And the guy that was kind of running the rebuilding, Butch Kohler, he says, "I'm colorblind." I looked at him, and well, anyway, most of the guys agreed on this. It's like a teal, white and green. I think it looks great, but the marble walls are a light tan, and half the people don't like it. I think it looks great. It pops.
Oh, it pops. Okay.
Yeah. It's certainly different from the other carpet. Was like a black and gray and brown. It was an awful color.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, Jeff,
you've had a lot of fun. Okay, go ahead.
I've wanted to ask this for a while as a member of the Valley of Reading.
Uh-oh.
We
Did you pay your dues?
I believe so.
Yes, he did.
I believe so. I believe Brother Larry Merris gave me a call and said,
Ambassador.
"You owe us money." And when he stopped hitting me with a pipe long enough, I was able to find my wallet. We have the Dyslexia Center attached. Is it the Reading Center for Reading or the Reading Center for Reading?
Do I have to answer this?
You can plead the fifth on this.
This is why we continue to feed him.
Right.
It's
just
this
always wanted to
CDC, Children's Dyslexia Center, at the Valley of Reading.
Yes, sir. Okay, there we have it finally. All right.
So you mentioned the 3 awards, or actually the MSAs, and then the Valley itself got. Tell about those awards.
Well, we received the Actives Award, which was for the most initiates out of the 16 valleys in Pennsylvania. The Kimmel Award, which is the most members based on a percentage of 14th degree Masons.
Right.
And then the Valley of Excellence. Harrisburg got the award for the Blue Envelope, which with the number of members you have, I'm sure you win it every year.
Many of the times we do, yeah.
So anyway, on Monday after COD, I emailed Mark Haynes, our active. Could you explain to me what these awards are? Because we had no
Nobody
idea.
was in the room and heard this name.
We were all too busy eating at Valley of Reading to go what our awards were. That's the most Valley of Reading thing I can imagine.
I was walking around with that eagle the rest of the day for the Kimmel Award. And then we got a check for the Active Award. So I think they should pay for my room next year out in Newcastle, even though I won't be Commander-in-Chief. I don't think that's going to fly. I don't think that's going to fly.
See how that works. But
Just make sure you book it this year.
That's
The
a Valley
bylaws
of,
question, I think. I don't know.
the Valley of Excellence Award. I think that's a big deal, and the fact that you guys got it this year is awesome. And I think it's a testimony to the work you've done as Commander-in-Chief.
Well, and our ambassadors really helped out, especially getting petitioners. They do a great job. So I was shocked that we had the most new initiates out of the 16 valleys.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Plus, we had quite a few, I guess you call it reinstatements. So
You know what else is impressive? Jeff is a phenomenal dancer.
Where's this going, Larry?
Phenomenal dancer. Jeff was able to dance with a trumpet. What was it? You were in the drum and bugle corps. Tell us about. I mean, this is no one knows.
No, that was honor
you were
guard.
A talented musician.
I was in the Reading Buccaneers honor guard for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm too old for that instrument stuff. they're all like 20-year-old kids. The year I did that, I think it was 59.
You know, Larry's given a lot of credit here, but he just figured out how to get those tassels going in opposite directions. So he's no slouch of a dancer himself.
But anyway, I look at the drum and bugle corps competitions today, and I'm telling you, these guys, these young people, they have this down pat. And I was thinking, you must have done things like that. It was amazing.
You know, not what they do today. I was in a drum corps back in the late 60s, 70s in my hometown.
Okay.
There's nothing like today. It's phenomenal what they do.
Yeah, it really is.
So since this is the Masonic Light podcast, let me get back into some Freemasonry.
You know, Larry is still ruining this show.
I know. You know, we can only do so much. You know,
Isn't it time for you to go to sleep?
We're going to nominate him for Segway of the Year with that last question. That was
You're
smooth.
listening to Non Sequitur with Larry Merris.
My one hearing aid is going.
Yeah, we were pushing the button.
so
Jeez.
back to the Valley of Excellence Award.
Yes.
Again, congratulations on that. The Big Valley, as you mentioned, we also won one, which is great. And it's not easy.
No.
Talk about the kinds of things you did that you all did in the Valley to get that award.
Well, there's 4 components to that program. The number one is membership. That's 50% of the points, and it's all about new members. And in the membership part, there's also contacting the brothers. There's various ways to do that. I'm trying to think. I wish I had my computer here. There's like 5 components to membership. Then there's the section philanthropy, which is Almoner's Fund. We always support our Dyslexia Center. Then there's the one with I call it the administrative, with the 990s and the officers lists.
Right.
The other section is kind of what functions that are going on at the Valley. Like we have a Golden Eagles, which is retired people that meet at the Valley once a month, and they get 70 to 90 people. That counts towards Valley of Excellence. Mm-hmm. Our holiday happenings counts for Valley of Excellence. The family picnic. I mean, we're doing everything that's in that program. The big nut is the membership.
Membership is always the key.
And it's 4% of your membership. So we have to get, I think it's 51 new members to get 75% of those points.
Right.
So you can possibly earn 105. You have to have 95 to get the award. And I was on a Zoom meeting yesterday for secretaries. Herb couldn't participate, and they didn't change any of the criteria, so it should be the same.
Is your number the same, or does it go up because you reached a threshold?
No,
this year?
it's 4% of your membership, and
Okay.
because of deaths and suspensions and demits, it went down 1.
Okay.
So we have to 75%. I think it's 62, but you have to have 75% of that to get 3/4 of the points.
So you either need to have more members get it or have more deaths.
In a roundabout way.
There's only one controllable
Yeah.
variable here.
Exactly.
And the other key component is the Right on the Road, which is not necessarily going out and showing degrees. It's also going out to lodges and promoting it. And our ambassadors do a great job at their stated meetings.
Talk about your ambassadors program.
Well, we have let's see, how many we go by Masonic districts. So there's District 1, 7. No, 7 is no longer. Yeah, no, 7 is, it's 11 up Schuylkill County. They're not around anymore, but 1, 7, 5 is Chester County, 40 is Montgomery. Each lodge has an ambassador. Some lodges we have to replace some because they don't want to, guys are getting old, they don't want to do it, but what they do for us is promote the Valley, promote the reunions, and they help collect dues, that's one of the reasons I asked Larry to represent Millersville.
He's doing the job.
Yeah. So that's we started in March of this year. We had 378 members that owed dues, and we got it down to 191 before the new notices went out.
Okay.
And at least half of those owe 1 year. So we did pretty good. And we got a lot of guys, senior status, that should have had it.
So the key in your role as commander-in-chief, I mean, you've done a remarkable job really kind of pulling everybody together. You went through some changes in administrative situations. I mean, bringing all of that together is no small task. But the key to any of these things is the continuation of these, not only through the remainder of your term as commander-in-chief, but into the future. What steps are you all taking in the Valley of Reading to make sure that happens?
I tell our first and second lieutenant commander and our secretary, follow the calendar. You have a calendar, you know what's got to get out there, and get it out at least 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time. And you have to always have follow-ups. So we communicate by Valley notices, but we also use the constant contact, and we always send out 2-3 follow-up emails because people wait till the last minute in today's world to say, yeah, I'm going to come to this function. And that's just the way it is. You know, I look at it, I'm like a babysitter. That's baby, you know, make sure, did you do this? Did you do this? Having a new secretary, getting him up on board, because I'm in my 6th year in the consistory line, so I have a pretty good idea how the calendar goes. And he's a past commander-in-chief, but he's been out of it for years. So, you know, the key is following the calendar and anticipating and planning.
Well, and understand something you mentioned, and understanding the way, I don't know if this is for all Freemasonry or just in central Pennsylvania, nobody signs up for anything until 2 weeks ahead of time, and sometimes the week of.
Yeah.
We're having a chicken barbecue at the Big Valley this weekend, and 2 weeks ago, I think we had 50 people signed up, and I think we're up to 130 now or whatever. They come in late. They don't. People just.
I think that's because we're involved with so many appendant bodies.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
And diminishing numbers.
Yeah.
So you got to pick and choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
So changing gears a little bit, I know back in 2020 during the pandemic, one of the really great things that Northern Jurisdiction and Valley of Reading had was this. We did a great job of online engagement with membership and getting people in. Is that something we're looking to continue and expand? Is that something we want to build on?
Yeah. You can become a Scottish Rite Mason by just watching the 4th degree online. It makes it a little tough for us at the Valley. This last reunion, we had guys that had never seen a degree. We had guys that had seen the 4th only, and then we had others that saw everything but the 32nd. So we actually had 3 groups of members that our registrars had to look for. But I think this. I keep hitting that.
Yeah.
This
sit on your hands.
The Thursday night at the Rite, I think is great. I watched. I forget which degree it was, and it was one of the 2 that allegedly I haven't seen. I've seen all the degrees. I've been degree master. I need to finish the 10th. I know I was degree master at Lodge Perfection Lancaster one year, but I can't remember the date. But within 30 minutes after I watched it, it updated my passport.
Yeah.
Now I really, if I get a passport, fine, but I need to finish with the 10th degree. But the Thursday night at the Rite, I think's a great program.
It really is. It's a great way to engage with your degree work when you don't necessarily have the time to travel, or for some of us, I know because we cover such large areas out here, you might not have that extra hour to get in there, but you can have that somewhat sense of fellowship. The chat room's really active while the degree work's going on. It's a really great program.
Yeah.
What's a passport? What's a passport?
Larry, how long have you been in Scottish Rite?
A long time.
Larry, you're our ambassador.
You're an ambassador.
You're supposed to know this, Larry.
I know what a passport is. Okay.
Go back to sleep.
Go play with your phone.
Yeah, have another one of those.
Have another one of those and go back to sleep. So you mentioned Thursday night on the Rite, and one of the things that I have, and you're exactly right, it's a great way to tune in, pick up a degree that you haven't seen before, or if you're new to Scottish Rite, want to get that 4th degree and kind of get a head start, that's great. But I've also been part of the actual casting of a couple of those degrees. And when you're, it is like a Hollywood production when those guys come in. You're there for days, and they want to make sure they get every shot right. And the neat thing is that they've gone beyond the big production stuff to some variety of production styles. For example, there was one where the Valley of Cincinnati just did like an old radio show read of a degree, which I thought was pretty cool. They've done some other ones, just straight up stage productions like you would see in any Valley production. But that Thursday night at the Rite is special.
Yeah, and your Valley did the 17th.
Yeah.
That was a great
really-
production.
yeah.
I've watched that numerous times. In fact, we showed it at our Valley at a stated meeting.
Yeah.
And I know everybody in
I
that.
was going to say, you know all of the
this
cast.
guy, yeah, I know that guy.
So if someone wants to get involved with some of the degree work up at Scottish Rite, what officer should they reach out to? Who's the right person to talk to?
Well, let the Valley secretary know. And then if you express an interest in a speaking part, we have a casting director, non-speaking casting director. If stage crew, we have I'm trying to think what Larry Borch's title is. Not director of work. Stage, I'd have to look at a...
But the point is that there's a lot of opportunities, whether you want to be in the costumery or you want to be in the stage crew or an actual actor. There's a lot of opportunities for guys to get involved with stuff.
Yeah, you have the soundboard, you have the lighting guy, and registration. We have stewards. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get involved without actually doing a part in a degree.
Sure.
Okay,
cool.
hang on. Let me interject. You used the phrase. He said, "How do you let somebody know that you want to do this?" And you said, "Contact the Valley secretary."
Yeah.
Where do you find that name?
It's in the. Do you read the Valley Notice?
No, because I'm a new guy on the street. I'm not a member yet. I want to join. How do I know where to go to find the Valley secretary?
I think the secretaries, correct me, are on Northern Masonic Jurisdiction website.
Yep.
See, I'm used to going into my portal.
This is classic Masonic osmosis.
Yeah, right.
You know everything you need to know,
Yeah.
but the guy on the street doesn't know how to do that. So if you needed to find the Valley secretary, is there a website that you can go that says
Scottish
find
Rite.
a Valley?
ScottishRiteNMJ.org.
Scottish Rite NMJ, Northern Masonic Jurisdiction.org. So if you're interested in joining, that's in those states that are more or less above the Mason-Dixon line, the old
Kind of short version.
classic
yeah.
Yankee version.
But there's a lot of also great Masonic background information there. Maybe you're not even a Mason and your friends letting you listen to this podcast. Go there and learn about the basics of Freemasonry.
But that's where to find your Valley
That's where
secretary.
to find your Valley secretary.
That's great. Thank you.
We need to take a quick break. I think we missed one already, and we'll be right back.
Looking for a way to show your Masonic pride and affiliation, but also want to have a relaxed look? Two Pillars Apparel is a Masonic-owned company that incorporates sports apparel with Freemasonry. Check out their current lines from Blue Lodge, as well as the appendant bodies York and Scottish Rite. Two Pillars Apparel is always adding new designs and items. Check in today to get a baseball or hockey jersey, or one of their new Scottish Rite lapel pins or hoodies. Two Pillars Apparel works for lodge social functions or going to the game. Visit them at twopillarapparel.com. That's TWO, pillarsapparel.com.
And we're back. Okay, we're back because we need to get finished with the show.
We had another great episode during that break.
We keep having episodes during the breaks, and they don't get recorded. So we've talked a lot about Scottish Rite, and that you're in your position. We should have, but you're in a lot of other stuff. What other stuff are you involved in? Like, I know you're a sometimes member of Ubar Grotto, and we forgive you for that. But what else do you do with your Masonic time? I mean, you're traveling all the time.
Well, I'm assistant Grand Marshal for Grand Lodge, so
That's a small role.
yeah. Well, I cover the eastern half of the state.
I remember a bunch of names.
When a Grand Marshal is required at usually a deputy presentation or a lodge anniversary, or a what's the other thing? Well, the current Grand Master is visiting lodges. That
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
lodge,
so,
right?
Well, I wouldn't
that's
say
the
every,
push.
but
Man.
that's been fun. So that takes up a lot of my time. lodge trustee, and then do I have to tell what bodies I belong to?
You don't have to.
Just asking about what other stuff have you, because I know that you're in AMD, and
Yeah.
I know how I feel about AMD. So I just didn't know if you had other bodies that you're involved in that are interesting and meaningful to you.
Well, Junto AMD, I enjoy that a lot, and Constantine Conclave, that's based in Reading. I enjoy that a lot. That's a dinner, but we do have some ritual for opening a meeting. Which is
one a year, one and done?
No, we do four meetings a year for.
See, those are the bodies. I'm hearing more and more people dig that, because it's enough of a break that you miss the guys that you miss, and you want to get back together again. And
Yeah, Junto is fun because the March Brothers are members.
oh, they're hilarious.
So whenever JK wants to say something, George just sits there like, I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth now.
It's the best. It's the
is the
best.
best.
It's like juggling hot pokers.
So, but
My favorite was Harpo.
Yeah, right. Wrong marks. So that brings up an interesting point, though, Jack. I think we have, the traditions of many of the various Masonic bodies are built on, you got to have, 10 meetings a year and all this kind of stuff. And while for Blue Lodge being the foundation, that makes sense. But more and more, as Jack said, people are moving to these bodies that don't meet every month.
And I know in our region there's a bunch of those little bodies, because they're the Seth Anthony deposits that have been made. A new body was re-energized or reestablished or whatever, and it's great. And I absolutely respect to him for doing that. But he somehow picked like the fifth Tuesday or the fifth Sunday or the fifth whatever day. And it's like the last week of the month, irrespective of months, is like loaded with stuff I've got. And you're in all of them.
Yeah. And I've gotten to the point now where when I have 5 things in 1 week, I'm canceling one.
That's the float valve? Yeah. Okay.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, it's easy to get burned out like that.
It seems better with those smaller things, too, because you have a more meaningful but a smaller commitment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's just something nicely balanced about that, as opposed to sort of some things that can feel like a slog, like, oh, I got to do this again. I've got to get back in here on Wednesday to record this podcast with these idiots. And I mean,
like find new people.
Like I have a family event this weekend, and it was operatives, and operatives is one of those 4 times a year, 3, 5, whatever. And I was going to have to miss it, but I was told at dinner that it's been canceled.
It's been
postponed.
Abandoned.
Abandoned? That really, is that the word?
It's abandoned. That's what JK said.
What does that word mean?
I don't know.
So I guess
We'll have to have JK on the show to tell us.
So I don't miss it, but I miss the guys that are associated with that group. I miss the group. It's a very interesting body, sort of weird but cool.
So outside of Scottish Rite, what do you find to be your most meaningful group that you're a part of?
Excellent question, Tim.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Jeopardy theme.
Jeff leans back and makes a face.
I would say right, Constantine Conclave.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, we meet 4 times a year, and there's quite a few guys from Reading, but it's what's nice is it's guys from all over. That's what I enjoy, talking to different guys, because we all have the same complaints, concerns, hopes, dreams, aspirations, whatever. And it's nice just to have a dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ritual, but because I'm a ritual guy, but I get tired of it, and sometimes I don't want anything to do with ritual. So that's what I like about Constantine Conclave, and Junto's that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that you said you really like ritual, because I mean that's actually where you and I first met. I've shared this story with you before. I was an upcoming officer in my Blue Lodge line, and I can't remember if we were going to School of Instruction or we were going to a regional something or another or whatever. And Jeff Moyer shows up, and he scared the crap out of me.
He's a pretty scary dude.
I mean, literally, I was scared to death of him. And then once I got to know him, I realized, what a great guy he is.
He's small but ferocious.
Yeah, he is. But my initial impression was, man, that dude, don't mess with him. But it was around ritual. I mean, you were a ritual beast. You really were.
I think that beast is some kind of badger.
Yeah, that of all the things
We
I've
don't
done
need
in
no
my life,
stinking badgers.
serving as a regional instructor was probably the most rewarding. Yeah. And I run into guys, especially at COD and Supreme Council. Hey, I remember when I did whatever? I'm like, I hope this went well. At Constantine Conclave, Victor Crook.
Yeah.
I don't know what his title is, but he's whatever, like a district deputy, and he come up to install us, and later on, he goes, I figured out who you are. Oh, you did? Yeah, you were a regional instructor. Uh-oh. Yeah, I did a second degree down at, I'm like, oh, I hope this went well. But it did.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, you said you guys were scared. You know Alan Beidle?
Oh, yeah.
So he was in Shippensburg. That was one of my regions. I used to go to this day, he says, every time you came, we were scared. I said, you got to be kidding.
Yeah. He was in my district.
When I was learning this work and Larry Buzzard was coming or Bill Arnold, it's like, I can't wait till I get there. I just wanted to pick their brain. I didn't think I was that scared. I'm 5'6.5". I don't even have any guns. Look at these guys.
He's referring to his arms, dear listeners. He's referring to his arms.
He's making an imitation of a flex right now.
I feel like next time Jeff Moyer's in here, I need to treat it like a radio drama and just kind of describe what he's doing.
We're going to announce it in a play-by-play.
He's gesturing emphatically, and I don't think you realize this is not a visual medium.
Pounding on the table.
I think I stopped that, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
did.
Yes, you've
like
done
Khrushchev with a shoe.
I have to say that I'd met Jeff socially at many Masonic events that were not involved in ritual or any of that kind of stuff. And the first time that I saw him operating in that capacity on the floor, it was quite startling. He was stalking the floor.
That is true.
It was very surprising.
Yeah. No. Again, if I were to rank people on the ritual, people that just really get ritual, you're at the top of that list.
Well, thank you.
There was an argument on one of the pages today about how important is ritual, and it's supremely important.
It's what separates us from the Moose Lodge.
It's the foundation that everything else is built on, and it's fine to have everything else, but without the ritual as a foundation, it's just a card that you carry around in your wallet.
Yeah.
Right.
And I to this day I tell people it's important, but you have to decide how much you want to put into it. It's an individual decision.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And it always comes up when guys say, you're so picky on the. Well, I can't let anything go.
No.
If I do, then the guys that hey, you changed it. No, but if a guy just wants to put enough in to go through the line, I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
For me, it clicked.
I get such a sense of the rhythm of it. Especially in the third degree when you're telling the story, it is meaningful, and there's so much layered in there, symbolically, that most Masons don't even understand or even think about.
How many times do you sit in a degree today, and something touches you in a different way than you've
almost every time?
Yeah.
So I think one thing about, and I've only seen Jeff do ritual stuff once or twice. I think when I did my Scottish Rite, I've seen some. I think you were part of the when I went to my first actual reunion. But one of the things people lose, I think, when they talk about it is the symbolism has to be there and the meaning of certain words. But there's a pacing and a tempo. And I think one of the things that gets forgotten the most when you look at how ritual goes is pacing and tempo. And in my previous lives, I was in drill and ceremony at my military school I went to, and One of the biggest things you drill into a good, well-drilled team is that sense of don't get there too fast, don't get there too slow. There's a pulse to this, a pace to this, and I've always felt you've had a really good grasp on that. Not just the words, but when, how fast, and when
where
to be
the
done.
breaks are, where that is, very definitely.
that's I consider that part of acting. In Blue
Well,
Lodge,
it is.
In
It
Blue Lodge,
absolutely is.
You can't really act or move your hands, but if you can do it with the words.
Yeah.
And I tell people you can
tell
never
the story.
talk.
Yeah.
You can never talk too slowly.
Yeah.
It's true.
That is true.
It's true.
Guys don't think they're going fast. They go fast.
Oh, I've sat through degrees where it was like you're painting the house really fast, so you
Yeah.
finish before you run out of paint.
Right.
Yeah, it was. The guys are just
That's sort of the
banging through
difference,
words,
though, right, between
not ever thinking about it.
knowing something and memorizing something.
Yeah.
And when you have it memorized, you're trying to go fast to get ahead of where you think you know.
Yeah,
and
but-
if you know it, and it's part of what you're saying.
And you have to understand the purpose of this is not so everybody on the sidelines knows you know this. It's so that person you're staring
It's
at
to
in front
convey
of
it
you
to another guy.
understands.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's hard to convey to folks.
Yep.
That's great. All right, well, let's take another quick break. We've got a couple advertisers that we've not heard from yet, and we will be back with more with Jeff Moyer.
Or Moyer.
More with Moyer. As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings. To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history. Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit HiramandSolomonCigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light podcast. And we're back with our special guest, Jeff Moyer. We have one other item of business to take care of.
Tim,
yes.
it's time for Copious Dues. This is where we try to guess how much Jeff Moyer pays every year in his Copious Dues. Jeff, you have a number in your head. You said you had earlier in the day. You
Yes.
want to write that down on some scrap of paper that Tim is
Tim
pretending
can't see
is
it.
important. Is that
Yeah, Scottish Rite, NNJ.org.
is that the receipt from the strip club? Where is what?
Cover it over, don't let anybody see
All right.
it.
All right, so nobody can see it. All right. Josh, hiding in the corner, who always scarfs off other people's bids. What do you think Jeff pays in his Copious Dues?
$941.36.
$941.36. A worthy guess. Tim, how much do you think Jeff pays in Copious Dues?
I'm going to say $752.
Let the record show Tim has been doing math for 5 minutes. Jake, how much do you think our friend, the illustrious Maximus brother, Jeffrey Moyer, pays for Copious Dues?
$420 on the dime.
Ooh, 420. I think we're aiming. Well, yeah, but it's the don't go over part that you
Right.
play. That's right. Yeah. Larry Boy,
$679.11.
600 and something things.
$79
that he said. Yeah. Okay.
Jeff, what's your guess?
Well, before I tell you the answer.
Well, hang on. Jack's got a guess still.
Oh, I thought he.
$850.
And then we have to review them. But you want to say something before we get to that?
Yeah, I'm a life member of my Blue Lodge, so that saves. I think our dues are 100. I'm not
So
sure.
we'd have
what-
to.
think
We
yours
would
are 125.
no. We would have to go with your current lodge's current dues.
No, but he doesn't pay them.
No, he doesn't
That's
pay
regular.
them.
But
doesn't
he
pay them.
has paid them. He prepaid them.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. he prepaid.
Well,
Let's go to Josh for a ruling on this.
Ding, 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 ding. Josh.
I vote that he does not count that because he doesn't pay it.
Correct. And we
I
did that
agree.
with a
So,
couple
yeah,
of our
so
other
I don't have
guests.
to overrule you.
I don't remember
There we
this
go.
happening
We did that with a
before.
couple of other guests.
Nobody ever listens to me.
All right, so to review, Josh, $941.36. Tim, $752. Jake, $420. Larry, $679.11. And Jack, $850.
Tell us, Jeff Moyer, how much you pay in copious dues.
$750.
You're kidding. Really?
Yeah, you said 752, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he went
I
over.
Oh, I went over.
He's over.
What's Larry?
Larry, $679.11. Off by $2.
That's number three.
Larry's won
Number
3 times.
Yay, the crowd goes
That's
wild.
great.
Larry,
Larry should be the money man.
because you won, you can buy me dinner or breakfast for the rest of the year at
Rest of the year.
Goose and Gridiron.
There we go.
Okay.
And thanks for
I
playing.
won't
our
be there
game.
tomorrow.
All right. Well, it's been a
right.
great show. Brother Jeff, thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thank you for
Good
having
to
me.
have you back. You need to make some more phone calls. We promise to answer them this time.
Okay.
So let's see what we've got coming up in the next few weeks Masonically. Let's go to our guest first. Jeff, what's coming up with you and the Valley of Reading and anything else you want to promote?
Well, the Valley of Reading is hosting the Feast of Tishri on Friday, September 27th at the Valley.
Oh.
The guest speaker will be illustrious Moises
Gomez.
I. Gomez, 33rd degree MSA. I've asked him to speak on 9/11. It's $95 a person, black tie, dinner, drinks, and a keepsake, which is coming from England. We've ordered, and we're selling a maximum of 100 tickets.
Great.
Starts at 6. So
and what is the source of these tickets? Where could someone go for a ticket?
you have my phone number, 717-847.
I'm a listener
He's trying to cue this up
Pawtucket,
for you again.
Massachusetts.
TheValleyofReading.org. What's your website for the Valley?
Oh no! It was just updated. Oh, I gotta look this up.
All right, we'll come back to you.
Yeah,
All right.
but
All these ambush questions
That's
we've set
right.
up for the commander in
Trying
chief
to
of
set
the
him up
Valley of
for
Reading.
success.
I love it. All right, Larry, what's coming up?
Goose and Gridiron and our first September lodge meeting, the first Tuesday in September.
That's correct. Yeah. All right, Jack.
Getting back into the September swing of things. Most important, biggest on the list is the Oklahoma Indian Third Degree. We have the guys from the Oklahoma Lodge that come up and do the degree in Indian. I think they said to call it a costume, right? Isn't that what
I
they
think
said?
that's correct.
Pageantry.
We tried to use some politically
Regalia?
correct word, and they said no, it's a costume. Rawr. So anyway, if you look it up on Eventbrite, you can do a Google search for Ephrata Indian degree, and it will come up for Eventbrite. You can get your tickets there. There's 2 different price levels. One is for lunch and the degree, and one is just for the degree. So this will be held at the Zembo Shrine. It'll be on September the 21st, beginning a little before noon. So if that's interesting to you, we did it 2 years ago. We had 400 guys. We're hoping for,
At least that many.
Love to see double that at Zembo.
Yep.
So go on and check it out.
Awesome. Jake.
I'm going to be getting back into the Blue Lodge thing, trying to get back into the year. I'm going to try to make the next meal for Scottish Rite now that Jeff's been here to shame me.
There you go.
And that's about all I got going on for now.
tonight's been a success. You got him back for something.
It's part of the ambassador program.
Congratulations.
Shame them.
Yeah, the one guy he got was the one guy he didn't want. Boy, what a win.
Josh.
We got the episode, of course. We have something going on. And then we got...
Something else happening.
Yeah. We got Lodge coming up.
Well, don't forget that other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that other thing.
Those people.
Jeff, did you figure out what your website was?
Yeah, valleyofreading.org. That's what Jack said.
I figured that was it.
It's Scottish Rite Northern Masonic Jurisdiction.org.
There you go.
And MJ.
Websites are us. All right. So
See the show notes.
that's right. Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 stated meeting on Tuesday, September the 3rd, same night as Lambertville. Valley of Pittsburgh Cigar Gathering. I'll be taking the Grand Smoke headed west on Friday, September the 6th. And then that Sunday is the second annual Pete Ruggieri Unrun. We would really love to have folks sign up for that.
I forgot that.
Go to Eventbrite, and probably you could search Unrun and find it.
So doing it out at Phantom Power this year
Yeah,
is
it
going
is
to be
at
a really cool thing.
You get a bib, you get a number, that's your racer number, you get a decal, I think, for your car.
Yeah.
I think we can expect a little
bling.
a little more, because I know the last time they did the fun run, the venue they had, which was nice and fun, but it was in the middle of a leadership turnover, and Pete had a great relationship with the people over at Phantom Power, so I'm confident that this year is going to be a really cool event.
Well, as of noon today, they're still lacking some numbers, so we need to encourage folks to sign up for that. It
Get
is
out
the
there, sign up, do it, yeah.
Do it.
Run,
Come
not
on.
the fun run, the un.
And if you don't know what that means, do we know what that means?
It means you
we
get
know
to the
what
starting
it means, right?
line.
Do they know what
Yeah.
it means?
You get to the starting line, you wait, you get into position, the pistol goes off, you take a step and go into the bar.
So you start by
socialize.
stepping across the finish line
Right.
and then going to the bar and raising a glass. Money goes to the
Cancer research.
thyroid cancer research at Jefferson, I believe.
I think that's correct.
Yeah. So it's a good cause, and it'll be a lot of fun. And then I'm going to do that and hang around there for a while, and then I think I'm going up to Harrisburg for the cigar barbecue.
That's this Friday.
No, that's not this Friday.
Yes, it is. Or it's this Saturday.
I thought it was the day after.
It's good to do this on the recording.
It is good to do this.
All right, well, I guess I'm not doing that.
The Big Valley Chicken Barbecue.
No.
is-
Anyway,
All right,
we'll
talk about it.
We'll talk more.
All right.
Come. Stand by.
The 168th
Stand by
anniversary
for
banquet of Eureka West Shore Lodge will occur on Saturday, September the 14th at the Big Valley Ballroom. And then a couple of low veils that we've been asked to announce. On Wednesday, the 18th of September, District 3 will be hosting their low veil in Newville, Pennsylvania. And on that same Friday, the 20th, District 19 will be hosting their second low veil. They did one last year, did a remarkable job. And I'm not sure exactly where that's going to be. But that's those are two low veils coming up. You can search PA Grand Lodge and find those districts and likely find good information on that. So, great episode, everybody. Larry, you ready to take us out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Josh, cue those chickens.
I'm not quite ready yet. Come on.
Larry, the chickens are hungry.
Larry, you've been doing this for 6 years.
He had one job.
One job.
Special thanks to Epper Lodge 665. We've been here, 5 years now? Is that about it?
I have
Or is
no
it
idea.
6, 5?
No,
We've been
since
here
we're
for
since we're in the
most-
basement.
Yeah.
Well, it was I don't know.
We've been on the air since 2016.
Yeah, I know, but
I think we've been on this episode
I
since
think-
2016.
Feels like we've been.
I think we've been here for 5 years. I saw something the other day. But anyway, thanks, Epper, for tolerating us this long. Special thanks to Josh Lamberton, our producer and director, who was very directed tonight. Special thanks to Jack Harley, our
That was direct.
Sometimes news director.
yeah, your news director. That's right. I keep forgetting. And to Tim Dedman, who I think is our marketing director.
And all-around good
to
guy.
our host Jake and myself and everybody else. A special thanks to our guest Jeff Moyer, who came in here tonight and was abused terribly by us. And I apologize, listeners. He asked for it all these years. So in closing, I want to just say one thing. Everybody have fun and do good. Thanks for listening. Good night, or good day, or wherever you are.
This is Tim. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Jeff, what are those websites again?
valleyofreading.org, Scottish Rite, not Northern Masonic Jurisdiction.
Scottish Rite NMJ.
Oh, Scottish Rite NMJ.org. I'll get it. Give me 400 or 500
You'll have it
chances.
by December.